Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. This is an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share data across platforms and sectors to improve situational awareness and decision making. Our focus today is on the atmospheric river impacting the Pacific Northwest. Yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel. An Arctic outbreak that's happening that's really going to drop temperatures by 30 degrees in the upper Midwest area. And also, strong winds coming over the Great Lakes are going to result in heavy lake effect snows. Blizzard warnings are in effect right now in Garrett County, Maryland, and also parts of the higher elevations of eastern West Virginia. The atmospheric river event that's been plaguing the Pacific Northwest over the past several days, producing widespread rainfall totals of 5 to 10 inches. Look at that moisture plume still happening, throwing a lot of rain into the Olympic Peninsula and Washington and parts of Oregon. These areas, many areas in here, have achieved 5 to 10 inches of rain. Many of the rivers are very swollen, some of them out of their banks, and causing widespread flooding in parts of Washington state as well. So we're looking right now at this atmospheric river, and I'm going to switch over on the GO satellite image to a little enhanced version as well. You can see what it looks like from the standpoint of moisture. I put on not only just the visible sector, but also the low-level water vapor, and you can see it. Look at this, all the way from here, just being picked up and streamed right across. Boy, if that isn't a classic atmospheric river. In the past, this used to be known as the Pineapple Express because it would originate somewhere near Hawaii with all that tropical moisture. But now all the latest research saying, yep, these indeed are atmospheric rivers. Folks at University of California, San Diego, Marty Ralph and those guys doing a terrific job in analyzing what happens and what goes on within this area as far as atmospheric rivers is concerned. And we're going to be getting NOAA research buoy data, those wave drifters and additional drifters. We're going to get that data into GeoCollaborate coming up here shortly. So I can't wait to show you that and what that looks like. We'll be diving right into the Pacific Ocean. In the meantime, you can see this area that's coming up and around here. It is going to weaken somewhat, and that's going to ease the amount of precipitation that's going to be shoved towards the Pacific Northwest. How can we tell that? Well, we can take a look at the blended tropical precipitable water, and I'm going to put that right up here now. You can see this. This is the blended TPW. I've shown this over the last couple of days, and you can really see what's happening. Look, just generally speaking, how this drier air is pushing down this way. It's steepening. A deeper trough is happening here. That is going to disrupt the flow, and you can almost see some of this dissipating somewhat here. The colors are going down towards more of a blue. That means a little bit less atmospheric moisture. And this high pressure system that's located off California is really dominating. Boy, that Tule fog continues throughout the valley, impacting flights into San Francisco again. We're going on the third week now for this pattern really being in place. And you can see that circulation around the high pressure is funneling in that moisture into the Pacific Northwest. But the good news is that the amount of moisture in this plume is decreasing. And as this trough digs down further, that's going to send more of the moisture up this way and take it away from the West Coast. It doesn't mean you're totally out of the woods, but it does mean that the amount of moisture and that precipitation is going to ease somewhat. So let's take a look at what the atmospheric river forecast looks like from the folks at UCSD. Okay, so what I want you to look at here is right in here. This is the circle. I'm going to change the location of these dots. You can see currently the forecast is for AR4, Atmospheric River 4, which is impactful. We know it's impactful. We've seen it. video coming in from the Pacific Northwest showing widespread flooding in many areas. But I want you to watch these dots because I'm going to change them and we'll take a look at the atmospheric river. So let me orient you here. So I'm going to point out here the atmospheric river forecast for this point right here. To the left here, this is the past 7 days. That's the past 7 days. Here is the future 7 days. That's what we call the forecast. So we're looking at right here is the 10th. Okay, so this is at 7 o'clock in the morning on the 10th. This is going to be 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, Eastern time, so a little bit earlier on the West Coast. So we still have about another 24 to 36 hours of atmospheric river to go through at this location near the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State. Now, here's the good news. The amplitude is really ramping down, and we'll do that during the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. So even before Friday morning, we should have a much more diminished area of precipitation coming into the Pacific Northwest. This is a pretty cool visualization of what to be expected. We've gone through this much atmospheric river, and we have this much more to go through, but the amplitude is really going down rather quickly. Okay, so I'm going to change where this location is. We're going to go down to about Astoria in Oregon. You can see this much atmospheric river we've gone through. We have a little bit more to go through too, and that is about 36 more hours. But again, the amplitude of the atmospheric river is really decreasing. So we're on the downside, folks. You can see light at the end of the tunnel. We will see the persistent rain that has been falling over the last several days, causing flooding. Takes a while to run down the mountains into the streams and rivers and get out of there. But I don't expect to have any more intense rainfall like you've had earlier to continue for the next couple of days. We're on the downside, which is great news. Doesn't mean we're done with the rain, but at least the intense rain will ease up, and that will help responders and anybody who's responding to perhaps flooding going on outside of the riverbanks. It will not add a whole heck of a lot more water. Out into the future, in days 6 and 7 out here, we're looking at a potential minor atmospheric river situation down here in Astoria. Let's go down into the central Oregon coastline here, and it's about the same. We've gone through the majority of the atmospheric river. We have about 24 to maybe 30 more hours to go through, but look at the intensity. Very, very it's dropping off very quickly, and then that will be done as that trough of low pressure digs and the precipitation gets forced a little bit further to the north. And notice in this chart here, we do have precipitation sagging down to the California coast a little bit too. So perhaps an AR2 impacting Central California. We'll be watching that, and we'll tell you about that as it gets closer. Okay, the next item is the Arctic outbreak that's coming behind a strong low-pressure system, an Alberta clipper that has a very strong cold front with it, and you can see this on the model. What I have displayed here is the temperature anomaly, that means above or below average, temperature anomalies at 2 meters in height, so about 6 feet up. That's what we're looking at here. And look how warm it is out west. Wow, this is incredible. Now, I want to show you something really interesting here too. And I'm going to change the color of my pen to yellow so you can actually see it. Get rid of that red. Look at this right in here, this yellow right in the Valley of California. What is that? That is the Thule fog that has been persistent for the last several weeks, at least 2 weeks. We're on the 3rd week right now of this Thule fog, which is cool, stable air that settles in the valleys. There's moisture in the morning, and it just remains, the cloudiness remains because the air is stable and getting warm at about 1,000 feet or higher. So it's clear around the mountains when you get up into the foothills and get up about 1,000 feet. But below that, it is low clouds, fog, and cooler temperatures. And that shows up in the model here. It's pretty amazing. We've even seen some warmer temperatures make their way up here into Ohio and Indiana and Illinois. But this just means a little bit warmer than average. And I'm going to put this into motion here right now so you can see what's going on with this Arctic air as it dives down behind that low pressure system. Look at all that blue. Just think of blue and pink and purple as cold and the red as warmer than average. So look at the expanse of warmth out west and even in the Midwest, all because of a strong high pressure ridge that's building in the west. Whenever that usually happens, that means we have a trough in the east. And that's exactly what we have. This trough of cold air is diving down, and even Florida, you're going to feel it. It's going to be chilly. Hope you have some of those jackets ready, but it's going to be bitterly cold in this area of the Great Lakes where this purple is, and you'll see as it goes further ahead, it will diminish somewhat, but it will move to the east. This kind of pattern in the atmosphere tends through the winter, if we can stick through this December into January, it tends to produce a storm along the coastline. We've seen storms move up and over the Great Lakes and all that stuff, but if we see a persistent pattern like this, one of these short waves or these little areas of spin in the atmosphere may reach the coast south of the mid-Atlantic and provide us with a good old-fashioned winter snowstorm. No guarantees. It's just the pattern that we're in with all this cold air here in the eastern part of the country, and that extends all the way down to Florida as well. Not only are we going to see these cold temperatures, but we're going to see very strong winds. And now we're talking about Friday here. This is at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. Very strong winds, and I'm going to take it back here just for a second so I can point out this area along the Great Lakes, and also strong winds coming down this way are going to produce a lot of lake effect snows. So Buffalo, all those areas that normally get lake effect snows, we're going to be seeing that in earnest during the day on Friday. So cold air, when they're moving across the relatively warm Great Lakes, will support active lake effect snows downwind of Lake Superior, northern Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. The heaviest snow totals expected downwind of the eastern end of Lake Erie and the eastern end of Lake Ontario. So that's across northwest Pennsylvania, far western New York State, and northwestern New York State, where snow totals in excess of 1 foot are possible. That is going to impact transportation, critical infrastructure. I know you're used to it, though. Winter storm warnings and lake effect snow warnings are currently in effect across these areas. Now let's quickly look elsewhere around the country and show you what's in effect. I'm going to start here in the Northeast. So these are winter storm warnings in effect for lake effect snow, winter weather advisories across northern Pennsylvania, into wind and into western Massachusetts, winter weather advisories throughout Maine. Look at this little highlight right here in Maryland and West Virginia. That is a blizzard warning. Blizzard warnings have been issued and are in effect right now as snow is falling lightly currently, but is expected to pick up in intensity, and we could see 8 to 12 inches of snow, particularly in the higher elevations above 2,500 feet or so and west-facing mountaintops. That's where we're going to see a lot of heavy snow. Winds gusting to 40 miles per hour will cause whiteout conditions at times. All throughout Ohio, we're going to see very cool, cold conditions, very strong winds. They have special weather statements for the cold coming in here. Also, up here in northern Montana and also through the Dakotas, we have winter weather advisories in effect in Montana, winter storm watches as well. And look at this in the Pacific Northwest. We still have flood warnings in effect. We have flood watches in effect. Out here, we have special weather statements being issued because of heavy rain that's been falling and the status of river levels. We have flood warnings in effect. Boy, I'll tell you, I really hand it to the National Weather Service employees in the Portland, Oregon office and also the Seattle, Tacoma office of the National Weather Service. They have really been very, very busy, and they don't have all the staff in place that they need to do the job that they're doing. So congratulations to you guys out there. So as the sun sets here in the East Coast, you can see that Terminator line coming on the GOES East satellite. We're preparing for cold temperatures and windy conditions on the East Coast. Not too unbearable in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia area, but blizzard warnings in effect right now in Garrett County, Western Maryland. The only blizzard warnings in effect in the entire nation are in Maryland and West Virginia. We'll keep you posted for the All Hazards Consortium Sensitive Information Sharing Environment. And those of you that are watching, thank you so much for watching. Share this video out if you think people will benefit from this. We use all the science at our fingertips so we can bring it to you and you can see the power of all these observing systems. Also, ocean observing systems too that are really critical. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Appreciate you watching. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.